So finally I got in there and interned and, you know, took it from there. And then I went back to school because I still had one more year of school left. Went back to school, finished that up. Then that following summer, I was like broke out of a job. And my boy, it was a cat named House Mike. He later became known as Mike Fever. He used to work with, I don't know if you remember Spank Boogie.
No.
Okay, well, Spank Boogie used to host a rap show back in the day. Well, anyway, he was working at 106 Jams, my boy Mike, and he was like, man, they looking for some part-time people. He's like, you know, might want to put your tape together. I was like, okay, cool. So I ended up going down to GCI because the guy who was working on the AM at nighttime, his name was Lon Dyson. He was the president's brother, Marv Dyson. He was who I was mostly working with when I interned. So he let me in so I could make me a tape. I sent it to the program director of 106 Jams. Her name, it was a lady named Monica Starr. And so I called her and called her and I called her. I finally got her one day. I was like, you know, hey, did you get the tape? She was like, yeah, I got it, but I haven't listened to it because we're not looking for any talent right now, so it's really not a priority to me. I was like, damn. Okay. So I was like, so much for that. But in the meantime, I made another tape. And Rick Party was doing 6 to 10 on GCI. I used to see him, you know, every night when I was in there. And so he heard me doing the tape. He heard me playing it back. And he was like, man, you know, dude, you sound pretty good for somebody coming out of school. You should come hang out with me on my show. And I was like, well, when can I come down? He was like, come down tomorrow. I was like, I bet. So the next night I showed up, headphones, ready to roll. And at the same time, one of my boys had talked to the program director and told him about me. And so he was like, yeah, well, you know, no, it wasn't the program. He talked to Marv, the president of the station. He told him about me, and I met with Marv, and he remembered me, you know, intern or whatever. And so I ended up getting in there like that and just hanging out. I wasn't getting paid to do anything, but I kept coming back night after night. And I remember Marv was like, why do you keep coming down here? We ain't paying you for nothing. I was like, hey, you know, it's an opportunity to learn. So eventually they saw I was persistent, and a chance came up. Cartier was like Rick Party's, not his full partner. He was like an assistant. He was called a producer. That was his title. And Cartier took off for like a week. And so they had Special K. It was another female. She was working there. She, who's done very well as a rep, Karen Lee, for various labels. And she ended up working with Rick. And they needed somebody to work in the afternoon to be the assistant that week. So they put me in there to do that. Yeah, and I remember they had, because it was like a small amount of people who were doing that particular job. Most of them were in college or just out of college. None of them are in radio anymore because they weren't real serious about it. Everybody who I worked with, they could tell, like this dude, I remember Howard McGee said he went to the bus, like, he used to call him Smitty. Smitty, we got to get this guy on the team. this guy knows every old school hit, you know, because he was like trying to challenge me on songs, and I'm not the cat you want to challenge on songs because I know what I'm talking about. He was like, well, who made such and such? And I tell him, he's like, okay, you know, he thought he knew everything, so he you know, told me, put the word out, and I just kept working, and eventually I got in there. You know.
Wow, how many years did it take?
That was all kind of a short time because I did college radio for 3 years. I did for 2 years before I interned.
I'm coming up on my 3rd year. Okay.
Right, I did 3. right. I did 3 years in college. Then that summer is when I ended up working my way in there. But I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't on the air at GCI. I was just in the studio helping people out, and that eventually led to me getting on it because I never got a lot of cats. Even to this day, I've seen this recently. A lot of guys get caught up in being just in the room, you know, in the background, and you know, I'm helping out so and so, and they'll try to use that as like a way to get pub. You know, like, yeah, I work with so and so, you know, and you can get a little far like that, but I never got caught up in that. My whole attitude was, I can be just as good as these guys. All I need is just my chance to learn the craft, get in there, get on there, and keep getting better. And eventually, I'm going to be as good, if not better, than everybody who they got on this staff anyway. So I always had that confidence. You know, it was just a matter of when I was in college, I didn't have any guidance. I didn't even have any headphones when I first started because nobody told me. Dude, the first college show I ever did, I was playing a song, and you know, I'm calling myself, I'm gonna do like they do on the radio, and I'm gonna, you know, talk over the song.
Yeah.
So I cut the mic on, and of course the speakers
feedback.
go out. No, that was,
okay.
you know, I couldn't hear the song. I'm like, what happened? So I'm talking, and I'm like, okay. Nobody told me I was supposed to have any headphones, so that's how far behind I was.
Wow, they just let you in the like, I want a radio show. Okay, go ahead. Here's the keys,
I mean,
go.
Pretty much, that's how it was. Because the thing was, at Northern, like, if you wanted to get into television, you had to take all these classes, and it was supervision. Radio, the radio station was totally disconnected from the communications department.
Mm-hmm.
There was no, you know, real structure to it. It was almost like the stepchild, like, oh, we don't want to mess with that. It was designed for people to just kind of play around.
It's just there, just to say it's there.
Right.
Like,
They don't even have it
radio
anymore.
station.
Somebody told me it's not even
Wow.
there anymore. Yeah, it was called